Okay, what would you do if I came up to you and said, dude, season 7 is actually season 4, but in disguise? You'll probably be, dude, you're crazy and all stuff. They have nothing in common. It's different seasons, but I actually have a little bit of evidence that can tie both of these seasons together. So, to actually show you guys what I mean, we have to go back a little bit in time, back to season 3, where the good stuff, or I should mean the storyline, actually began. Not the beginning, but kind of like at the end, where people started to notice a bright blue thing in the sky, which every day got closer to the Fortnite map. Later, people started to realize that's a meteor slash comet over in the sky. It's gonna come impact into the Fortnite island and stuff. So yeah, then little things started to hint more to that comet and meteor. Little tiny meteors. If you're in the final circle, little tiny meteors started to actually appear out of nowhere and hit the ground. Then signs started to show up across the whole entire Fortnite island, mostly at Tilted, where there were signs of a UFO, of the meteor, people saying goodbye, and that's where the whole entire Tilted is gonna get destroyed thing theory became from, and people still used to this. Oh my god, why do people want Tilted so badly destroyed? I mean, it's a popular place to land at, but dude, come on, just stop with that Tilted thing. But yeah. The meteor slash, I'll just call it meteor, actually in season 4 impacted in a place called back then Dusty Depot, now known as Dusty Divot. And yeah, so the season 4, the theme was prepare for impact, which actually makes sense because the meteor crashing, impact, prepare for it, big explosion. So yeah, the government actually came and took Dusty Divot under control to find out what was inside the meteor and actually what the meteor provided to the Fortnite island. Now, this is the very weird thing. Why would the Fortnite island have a government? Every day you're out there killing other players, being the last one. It's like the Purge 101. It doesn't make sense. You make a theory of that your own. But yeah, the meteor each week started from week 1 all the way to week 7. The government, we'll just say the government, started to dig deeper inside the meteor and later found that there was a capsule inside the meteor. Into week 7, the visitor came out of the meteor or the capsule. Now, this in season 4, that's where the whole entire weekly challenges started with the gifts, the secret skin, which was the visitor, and there were some other things called hop rocks, which if you consume them inside the game, they will give you superpowers. Not superpowers, but they just gave you, you can jump high. So the visitor, when he did, was take those hop rocks and went to a villain base, which contained a fake rocket. And he put those hop rocks inside the rocket, and I'm not sure how it happened, but it just, magically made it to work. Now, the villain base and the hero's base, it's actually another story. I don't want to cover it because it might take longer. But yeah, weeks after week 7, a timer went off in the villain's base with the rocket, and it actually indicated where an in-game event was going to happen. And so came the changer of all video games, which was the rocket event. That's where the rocket took off inside an in-game event. Like, it was live. It was massive. So the rocket took off, made some weird sounds, then came back, was gonna hit Tilted Towers, but it actually made a rift through time. Then it went it did some SpongeBob things around the map. It went through the whole entire map, rifted through time, came from Loot Lake, and just made a huge crack in the sky. yeah, just I'll probably link a video to the event down below. But it was awesome, massive. I didn't watch it because I was dumb back then. Didn't even know something like that was happening. And yeah, it was a Saturday. I played that Saturday later after the event happened. Didn't watch it. Too bad. Let's move on. So, weeks after the rocket launch, rifts started to appear in the whole entire map where, like, things started to appear from other places, or things from the Fortnite map actually were left, like the Nom sign, the motel sign, the tomato town, or pizza pit, or the tomato dude, I forgot his name. That guy disappeared, and then in some places like Moisty Mire appeared a a dinosaur skull, then a wagon, and other places far off, like by Greasy Grove, appeared an antler, kind of like a pirate antler, but at the end it was a Norse, you could say, mythology. It's kind of, I'm not sure, it was weird. So then came season 5 with the theme of I'm choking right now, with the theme of Worlds Collide. Season 5, honestly, many people hated season 5 because it didn't have a good storyline. I kind of love season 5 because it had some good skins, but the storyline was just super dry. Until week 7, we got introduced into the Enforcer, which the only thing they did was come through a rift, brought the motel sign back, and that's all they did, just, cool the sign, but kick it out of the storyline because it has nothing to do with it. We just had to include a secret skin because then people were going to be mad because they paid $10 for a battle pass with skins, no secret skin. Yeah, just throw it right there. Until later, the rift in the sky actually began to shrink and kept hitting this place, which like 5 cactuses. Okay, I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. So then it kept hitting that same place until finally it did some like over 9,000 stuff with some lining and introduced to the Fortnite island Kevin the Cube. That's where the rift used all its energy, disappeared, and then the cube was born. The cube the next day started to move and started to make these little tiny runes, which at the beginning they just gave you super high jump ability. The cube also gave you shield. So yeah, the cube appeared, the next day started to move, and the next day did this runes. And yeah, it just did 7 runes in total, and so finally it got into Loot Lake, synced into Loot Lake, and made it a bouncy Loot Lake. Then we come to season 6, which the cube spawned, kind of like rose up out of the ground, brought the house, and it just became a tornado. Under the tornado, there was like a portal, but we never used that thing. Then the next day, the island started to move, magically move. So this wasn't a live event like the cube. It moved every time. If you go inside the game, you can see it move. This, you actually had to reset your game approximately every 30 minutes. It moved. And then it got to the first rune. And that rune came up from the ground, not too high. And I'm not sure whether did it the cube, did it power the cube, or did the rune power the cube? I'm not sure, it was weird. Then it did that for all the runes into the final rune. And when stood there for like 48 hours. And then all the little tiny runes that the cube powered rose up from the ground and went to the big island. The next couple of hours, once all the runes went connected to the cube and stood there for like another 24 hours, then the next day, finally, Jesus Christ, all the runes fell. The cube was powered. It was pulsing really fast, and it went back to Loot Lake. Once it got to Loot Lake, the next day, it made a portal in the sky, which that portal every single day evolved into a much bigger portal. Oh my God! Finally, an event took on called Fortnite. That's where the cube made the island break into 3 parts, and the cube, while breaking, actually took that energy and made little tiny shards of himself to spawn cube monsters, because we cannot have husk inside the game. Don't mind those notifications. So it made cube monsters. Throughout the whole entire Fortnite event, there were these things, cube monsters. They gave you shields, just like the cube. The cube was just chilling over there with his 3 pieces. And then finally, Fortnite announced that they were gonna, at the end of Fortnite, they were gonna do a live event with the cube. The end of Kevin the Cube. Finally, after 3-4 months of waiting, what was gonna happen with that dumb cube? The cube, before the live event, a couple of days before the live event, started to actually break. You could see it every single day. More and more pieces of himself breaking became more visible. And so one day before the live event, this is how it looked. Himself, if you were just to rip out a part of your skin, you could see all the blood and skin. That's what it looked like. So in the portal below, at least every single 2 hours, a power from the cube actually dropped, like a diamond. It took the power from himself and just made it drop into the portal. Which also, if you went inside the portal, nothing happened. It just shoot you back up. And finally, the next day, it was dried up. It was ready. It started to spin. Actually recorded that if you're gonna watch it. Yeah, probably lower a little bit the volume. I was crazy. It started to spin, and bam, it broke, making the whole entire screen white. And so started the butterfly event, which every single player that saw the live event transported it to what's called the end in between. We don't know what's that about, but yeah. And then butterfly spawn, butterfly / rift. If the main character, you touched the butterfly and transported you back, rifted you back into the new loot lake. Bravo! Now that that's gone, week 7 of, oh my god, I need to take a break. Okay, I'm more chill now. 12 minutes, let's get right into the point. So, nothing happened after that. Everything was just chill after the cube event. It was peaceful once again until week 7 of season 6, where they actually introduced the AIM skin. Week 7 of season 6. So they introduced the AIM skin, which was searching for targets, kind of like Terminator right here. But yeah, did nothing throughout the season. Just went on to look around the map. Everybody was like, oh, he'll actually searching for the cube parts or killing everyone. No, he was always in the shadows, in the corner. But while he came to the Fortnite island, stuff started to happen. Clouds started to appear from the side from he came, which he appeared in Flush Factory. From that side, if you look far enough, you could see little tiny clouds. Each day at least, that cloud got bigger and bigger and closer and closer and closer. And then until it was finally close enough, we could see that that cloud was just a cover-up for an iceberg that was actually behind it. That iceberg had a castle on top of it. It had mini ices on the water. And then, I'm not sure what the other picture is about. Oh yeah, this is another picture. Just keep this in mind. The unknown monster, which according to everybody, is the one that makes the storyline of Fortnite. When the cube event actually went on, he tweeted this: "It's the end of the beginning." Just keep that in mind, okay? So then it got close enough. The iceberg, you can actually see the ice and everything, and then bam, season 7 hits on December 7, I think it was. 7/7. Week 7 hits on December 7 and actually brings a snowy kind of theme with the iceberg, new places like Happy Hamlet, then brings Frosty Flights and the iceberg. So yeah. So then after that iceberg, just keep this in mind. At least every single week with the update, it starts to melt. Okay? And then until right now, a couple of days ago, people found that once the castle melts enough, there's dragon eggs under that castle. You can see actually the dragon design, I never noticed that, with scales. And then we come to the secret skin of Season 7. Okay, now let's make a nod to what I said back in the beginning. How Season 7 is actually Season 4 in disguise. Okay, here we go. What happened back in Season 3? The end of Season 3. What happened? So people started to notice a comet in the sky, right? And each day that comet became closer and closer to the Fortnite island. Now while that comet came closer, stuff started to appear in the Fortnite island. Little tiny comets started to appear during the final circle. Signs started to appear. Okay. Now what happened before Season 7 started? A cloud behind started to appear, and each day that cloud started to get bigger and bigger and closer and closer. Now what happened while that was going on? Stuff started to happen in the Fortnite island. Like you could hear noises by Flush Factory. It started to snow in Spawn Island. Your player actually breathes and throws like smoke. When you're cold, your body does that. So that's what happened. Now what happened in Season 4? The comets came, and each week that comet, the government dug up into a comet, and each week you could see what was actually inside of it, which was the capsule with the visitor. Now what's happening in Season 7? Each week the castle is melting, the ice is melting, and it's revealing more. And what happened? We just found out eggs inside the castle. Now think about this. What happened if the secret skin from Season 7 is actually a dragon skin? I know, I'm blowing. That egg inside the castle actually breaks. There's around five eggs in the castle, but one of those eggs, or maybe all of them, breaks, revealing the secret skin, which is actually a dragon. That's mind-blowing. Now, remember what I told you about this? The end of the beginning, the cube and the meteor was actually just the prologue, or that's what you call it, before Chapter 1. And the iceberg is actually Chapter 1. And it's going to reach all the way to Season 9 or Season 10, where Chapter 2 begins. Okay, so this is just a little tiny theory. I actually made this video just for fun, just to share the knowledge with you guys, kind of like the theory I had. But it's actually, if you dig deep enough to find information, it's actually crazy, like super crazy how Season 7 is actually Season 4, kind of like all the events are happening. So, once I found that there were dragon's eggs inside the castle, I was like, okay, I have to drop the video because now, there's a little bit more information. Now, if this actually is true, that the secret skin is a dragon type skin and the eggs crack and shows that the secret skin is actually inside of it, I'll be mind blown. I'll be like, wow, I lost my voice right there. I actually got this theory right. So yeah, that's all I have. I know it was a long video. Didn't want to make a long video. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll start with my probably regularly daily uploads from now on. Probably playing some more games and making more videos. But yeah, that was just, kind of like a tease. Tell me if you actually believe all of this. I know it's kind of crazy and all stuff. It's just a theory. Don't make it so believable. But if it actually it turns out that the skin was a dragon skin that came from the eggs, I'll be mind blown, like I said. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And tell me what you think about this. Comments down below. So yeah, peace.